Hey, I'm Laura McFarland. Welcome to Cross My Heart Ministry. Well, it's the last week of the month, and so my regular viewers will know that means it's time to introduce our new Do It list. Most of you are familiar with this, but we do have some new subscribers, so let me just share briefly that this is a home management, home organization method. It was born from my struggle to keep home and hearth organized when I was raising my family and just struggling to figure out what to do. And so instead of going into a room or asking myself, what should I do first? The more that I could routinize my plan, the easier it was just to not have to think about it, but just to jump in and do it. Thus the name Do It. I think the beauty of this is that it's all on one page, and it's also conveniently divided into daily tasks, weekly tasks, and monthly tasks. So you just have the little boxes, you check those off, and if you just routinely get into the habit of doing those things once a day that need to be done daily, find some time sometime during the course of each week to do the weekly tasks and then the monthly. So what we do each month when we introduce the new list, and of course this is the one for September, is I'll sort of drill down on one of the tasks that are listed there to kind of give you some tips or ideas on how to make those more efficient or more productive, or just some ideas that I've gleaned through the years. So the task we're going to focus on this month is the baseboards. And baseboards is on that section of the monthly tasks. And it's also one of the ones that we change out annually. Some of those tasks do change because there are a few items, let's face it, that don't need to be done monthly and perhaps not even seasonally. And this is definitely one of those that you only need to tackle perhaps once a year. I think dusting baseboards is also one of those jobs that is usually just forgotten, overlooked, or just downright ignored in the hectic pace of life. And so when you think about cleaning baseboards, it may conjure up memories of your grandmother doing her spring house cleaning and down on her hands and knees with a rag or a scrub brush, or just all that manual labor and all that perspiration that's coming for it as she tackled that task. Well, I think if you choose the right products and if you commit to doing this even just annually, it's going to strip away a lot of that manual labor, and it's just going to become more of your routine home maintenance rather than something that requires hard manual labor. So today I want to share 7 tips, just ideas for you to consider when it comes to tackling the baseboards. So these are just some practical ideas that I've gleaned through the years, and I hope that maybe one of them would bless you. First of all, your baseboards may really just need to be dusted instead of actually cleaned. I think on the list it says clean the baseboards. And so you might just want to attach that brush attachment from your vacuum cleaner. Be sure to use that because it's got the little soft edges and it won't damage your baseboards. If you use a harsh plastic attachment, you could end up marring the finish and maybe having to do more work than you really planned on to begin with. Now, if the grime has built up, and if it's been a while since you've done this, and it may require more than just dusting. So if you do need to clean, I strongly encourage you to choose a cleaner that is mild, that's not going to be abrasive, that's not going to damage the finish or the paint on your baseboards. I like Murphy's oil soap. It's just very mild. I like to use it on any sort of wood products. If I'm cleaning cabinets or baseboards, I've just had great success with Murphy's down through the years. I find it much less harsh than other products. And if you don't want to use that, or you don't have it on hand and you're just ready to jump in and tackle, you can also mix up your own solution of 1 part vinegar and 1 part water, and that will work as well. Just use a nice clean cloth and that should take up that as well. Number 3 tip is to always test that on an inconspicuous area. Even though Murphy's or that mild vinegar water solution should work just fine, you want to be sure you test that behind the furniture or someplace where it's not going to be glaring, should it cause some sort of a problem when it hits your baseboard. Number 4 is to pace yourself. This is a once a year task, and you don't have to tackle the whole house in just one day. This is done once a month. So you may want to just do 1 room at a time. You may want to, when I'm doing a task like this that is just routine and mindless and I'm doing it over and over, I really like to get on the phone and talk to a friend. Now, if you're using the vacuum cleaner attachment, that won't work, but you may even listen to a podcast, put your earphones in, but pace yourself. You will be amazed how much you can accomplish when it comes to baseboards, just devoting 10 minutes a day, and very quickly you'll make it through your entire house. Number 5 is to delegate. If you're one of those young moms that still has children at home, I consider all household chores part of raising children to adulthood that are responsible. So they will someday have their own homes, and they need to know that baseboards don't magically clean themselves or dust themselves. And so you can train them how this is done, and you'll be amazed how much time it will save you if each of them does their own bedroom. That shaves off a lot of square footage for you to have to cover. And at the same time, it trains them as well to get that done. Number 6 is to work smarter instead of harder. You know, grandma got down on her hands and knees with her scrub brush, but instead of getting down on your hands and knees, you could take one of these cloth. This is the cloth that I like to use. I like these microfiber cloths. I buy these in bulk, and they're great for dusting because the microfiber really grabs the dust. So if I'm gonna dust furniture or I'm gonna dust a baseboard, I love to use these. They work great in the car, on the dash. So if you're going to get down on your hands and knees, you can use, if you're going to just dust, you can use this microfiber cloth, but you can also wrap it around the head of something else, like the end of a mop, and rubber band it, and then you've got this, and you can just stand up and not have to get down on your hands and knees to do the dusting. So that's kind of work harder instead of smarter. You might just buy a new sponge mop and sort of wrap this around the end of it and make that work, create your own little tool. Number 7 is just to consider repainting. If the baseboards are just, they're clean, but they're just looking dingy, maybe they've gotten scratched up, they've just gotten a lot of banging and nicking through the years, a fresh coat of paint will do wonders to make those baseboards look sharp and clean and everything new again. I just gotta warn you, it's kind of like the book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. If you're gonna paint the baseboards, you're probably gonna look back and want to go ahead and paint all the walls as well. So a simple monthly task could lead to something else that's more involved and more that you wanted to do to begin with. Well, I hope that the end of September will find you with clean baseboards in all of your house. I hope you've been motivated today to tackle your baseboards and just to grab this list. If you haven't done it yet, jump in and start making this part of your routine to keep your home managed. And I just want to remind you that a clean house is not the end goal. The end goal is to have those mundane tasks taken care of so you are freed up to do things that are much more important. Loving on people, investing on people, loving our Lord, spending time in His Word. So this takes away some of the guilt and some of the challenge about what should I do, and just frees you up to go in and jump in and do it. It's also a great tool to begin training your children and teaching them how to manage hearth and home. If you've got some clean the baseboards ideas, we would love to hear them. Leave those in the comments section below. Also in the comments below, I'll put the link where you can download your own copy of the Do It list. And I hope that this finds you doing well. September, in many ways, is the beginning of a new year. We know that January, of course, I know what the calendar looks like, but when it starts the school year, it feels like the beginning again. So it's a great time to get back into a routine after the lazy days of summer. And what better way to do that than to jump in and begin using our Do It list. We hope you will. We hope that you'll stay tuned and join us each week as we bring teaching here on our channel. A couple times a month, we also add these little fun tips with our Martha Mondays. But I'm very excited that we're going to be starting our new Bible study for the year. I'll be teaching through the book of Romans, and there's a link below that sort of pitches that and lets you know what that will look like. If you're considering it, we would love to have you join us no matter where you live. You can do it as an independent study. You can do it virtually. We've got some Zoom groups that are combining women from all over the country to discuss those questions together, or you can just listen to the teaching lecture. Those will be posted here each week after we start on September the 9th. I hope you have a blessed week. Again, for Cross My Heart Ministry, I'm Laura McFarland. Here's to clean baseboards.